with this imposition that's just been announced, there's a real sense now that we need to be stepping up this fight, and this is an absolutely crucial moment when junior doctors have an opportunity to engage with the wider trade union movement and the wider labour movement, and that's absolutely what needs to happen next. This is all quite new to us. We're new to all of this, and we're keen to learn from the other trade unions and more experienced campaigners as well. So I'd like to introduce next the General Secretary of the Communication Workers Union, Dave Ward.
Good evening. Been at another meeting this afternoon, and really pleased to have the invite from the junior doctors and from the People's Assembly to put the case for why solidarity is needed. Give a little bit of our experience, as we said, and let me start by saying, Yanis, I shared a meeting with you, a platform with you, just before Christmas, where the Greek Finance Minister, your namesake, Yanis Sakhafaris, was also at the meeting, and he introduced himself as the other Yanis. I actually think that roles are now reversing. You seem to speak today. So I want to bring solidarity from a group of workers, postal workers, telecommunication workers, call centre workers, financial services workers, who understand the dangers of privatisation, who have lived with it for some time now. And to also say to you, though, that they understand even more what the value of the NHS is to them personally. And one of the things that strikes me about dispute, is that there's an assumption in this country, unfortunately, because of many of the things that Ken has said and others have said, and the right-wing media and its grip on this country, that when you start in a dispute, there's this assumption that the people who are on strike because of self-interest. And one of the things that you've done, I've heard the talk about you've got to win. I think you've already won a really, really important victory already in this dispute. Because I think you've blown away their argument that this is an assumption, a dispute about self-interest. I think people know that this is now personal about the NHS for them as individuals in this country. And I think we stand on the brink of building a platform here to really start to connect the disputes that go on around the country, the people who do want to see something different in this country going forwards. And so therefore I say to you that you've won that battle already. It is very clear to me when you sit and listen to, I'm a person that listens to interviews, you see the politics shows that are on telly, and you get a gut reaction of what people have said. And I don't get anything other than a reaction that this government is on the run. An imposition, by the way, is never a sign of strength. Imposition is a real sign of weakness. That this is a personal dispute now, I can give you an experience just a couple of weeks back. Unfortunately, unexpectedly on my part, I turned up at a hospital at a weekend. I didn't mean to be there, at a weekend. And I got treated there. I won't go to the details of that. Some people probably was hoping that I wouldn't come out of there, but I did come out, as you can see. And I got treated there, and it made me think, I obviously got treated by junior doctors. I had a great day in there, and it made me think, these are the experts, and I've got to listen to this guy, Jeremy Hunt. James Naughty, the Radio 4 presenter, did actually call him the other word by mistake, but I think most people realised it was the right thing to say there. I've got to listen to him telling me that he's the expert, that he understands what this is about. It is incredible. If you're in there and you're receiving that service and you feel that and you see it, how anybody can seriously take this guy or any of the Tories that they are the experts. So who would I rather have in front of me, a junior doctor or Jeremy Hunt, consulting with me about, and Jeremy Hunt, dread the thought of it, examining me. So, the other reason it's personal to me is my daughter, one of my daughters, has just qualified as a midwife. She works in St Helier Hospital. One of my other daughters, Alex, is a teacher in Glasgow. She's been qualified for a couple of years. And what we talk about sometimes is the pressure on workers. And I say this at meetings when I talk about the trade union bill. And I put this to workers everywhere at the moment. Has there ever been a time in the last 40 or 50 years, I know people have had it hard in the past, that's there for everybody to see, but has there ever been a time in the last 40 or 50 years where workers right across the piece have been under so much pressure to continuously improve your efficiency? What does that mean? What value is that, and who is it for, and who wins out of that debate? And Ken, your points about competition and privatisation. I mean, I've seen the industry that I worked in since 1976 as a messenger boy. I've seen it when it had great times. I've seen it when it had a real value and purpose in society. And obviously the world of communications moves on. We have to recreate that. But I've also seen what you said about competition. And if there's one thing that winds me up, and Vanessa mentioned about UK Now, I'm not here to have a go at anybody who works for those companies. But how on earth politicians can stand up and defend things like competition, for example, in postal services and no doubt in the NHS, and by saying we've just created these new jobs here, what we've got competition for is that somebody's benefiting out because the price is going to go down, everybody gets a better deal, but also we've created these new jobs. There are no new jobs. These are not new jobs. These are jobs that replace better jobs that we fought for years for terms and conditions that set the market rate, and of course they come in and they undermine the market rate. So, just not on. And another thing on the personal, why it's personal. How about the junior doctor the other week, it was on social media, who asked Jeremy Hunt if he could meet him. And Jeremy Hunt's reply was, unfortunately, I don't do constituency surgeries at weekends, I can only meet you on Friday. So we recognise that with the austerity agenda that this government is pursuing relentlessly, we recognise with the attacks on the trade union movement, through the trade union bill, and through all of this constant pressure that is on workers today, that it is time for people to come together. I liked your point, Ken, about finding the way to win, because I have an observation I would make is I meet lots of people who are willing to stand up and fight and deal with things in the right way and fight for a better society, for the values that we all have held for many, many years. They're out there. What's difficult is to connect it. Is to connect it into a movement that actually starts to put these people under huge pressure, because they will bottle it once they are put under that pressure. At the moment, I think they know they're in trouble. I think your strategy has been spot on as junior doctors, and I think it is incumbent for us to get behind this dispute and in front of this dispute and with this dispute in every single way we can. I think you're going to win it, because I think imposition will never ever work. It's a damaging outcome for the government, it's a damaging outcome for the people who use the NHS, and it's a damaging outcome for the people who keep it moving all the time. So it's not going to work, you will win that. And I say this to you today, you are on the brink of building that movement. And what needs to happen about winning is you must stand together in this, and we must support you in it. And if the point comes where you decide that you've moved them forward, it's no longer in position, as Ken said, it's a contract that you've now agreed, because that's the decision that you've reached because you've got concessions out of them. We'll back that deal. we'll back you to be the judge of whether that deal is the right deal for the NHS. So I say, let's give our support to these people. Let's stand beyond